So the gospel parable today is about a wedding and how none of the wedding party know exactly when the wedding is going to be. I have a feeling there are a lot of couples out there right now, and perhaps lots of bridesmaids and groomsmen out there who are now nodding their heads. It's been one of those years, hasn't it? So before the lockdown, I was meant to be celebrating 4 weddings this year in the summer. Two couples decided to postpone into a more favourable time, but 2 decided, looking at the dates and the possibilities, to hang on in case lockdown came to an end in time. Happily for those 2 couples, they managed it just in the nick of time. Now, at those weddings, I didn't look around, but if I did, I probably could have told you which people at the wedding and the limited guests were still planning to be at the wedding during lockdown, and who are the people who probably thought, oh, it's not going to happen. And I probably could have told that by looking at the belt lines of, say, some of the male guests. If the belly was bulging over the belt line, perhaps they'd slightly outgrown that suit that they had fitted for them for the wedding. And those who were still trim probably were thinking, you know what, just in case. So just a little indicator there. But I have a feeling that the people of Jesus' time, and even many people in Israel today, would know how to wait a bit better for a wedding in an uncertain time or an uncertain date. This is because in today's parable, Jesus is using an example of how weddings tended to be celebrated in the Near East. Whole wedding parties did indeed wait for the bride and bridegroom to come, and they didn't know exactly when they would come. Apparently, prankster children would wait for the moment when the party had just fallen asleep, and then shout out, "Behold, the bridegroom is coming!" It's like the ancient version of Knockdown Ginger, perhaps, just to play a joke on them. Well, the 10 bridesmaids in the story, who are they? Who are they the modern day equivalent of? I think they're us. They're all ready with open ears for the bridegroom. They're all waiting to hear that he's coming. And their lit lamps are representations of, perhaps you could say, their attention span. When the bridegroom arrives late, they all hear him coming because you have the announcer, who's not a prankster kid, telling them that he's coming. And they all stand to attention. But only 5, the 5 wise, have oil in reserve. Now, why is this reserve oil important? Why are the 5 who didn't bring spare oil deemed to be foolish? Well, it's one thing to hear the good news of Jesus. It's one thing to hear that the bridegroom is coming. It's another thing to follow him. And to be able to follow Jesus in the dark, those bridesmaids needed lamps full of oil. Their refusal, or their omission to bring oil, meant that they had chosen darkness over light. And Jesus is the light. Darkness and light do not mix. And that is why Jesus says to them when they turn up late to the wedding feast, "I do not know you." We're in a dark time now, and to follow Jesus, we need to be wise. We need to fill our lamps. No doubt, Netflix, Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and Sky are ready to provide us with a lot of light, not to mention the small screens whose light shine on our faces with all hours of the day with Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. But what fills us up? What fills us up with light in reserve? What makes our lamp burn brighter in dark times? What gives us a sense of resilience that we might endure when suffering of all kinds surrounds us? we might use a different source. Perhaps we might light a candle in a darkened place. Perhaps we might commit more to prayer. Perhaps we might turn to the Bible, turn away from the light that shines on our faces from our screens, and turn to a book that we need to light up with our candle and see what wisdom lays there. By reading the Bible, by turning to the God who covers past, present, and future, we are prepared for the folly of the future. We avoid it. We're ready for it. Jesus says, stay awake, watch. During this second lockdown, as the nights draw in and things get darker, as light is more needful, perhaps we might watch for wisdom. Perhaps we might let her fill us up. The light, who is Jesus, will shine more brightly through us and go out to others. Amen.